Hello everyone, this is Joshua,
I'm Che.
and today we're going to be reviewing the newest Transformers film, Bumblebee.
Where did you come from? Do you remember who you are?
This Thursday,
A dangerous criminal from our world is hiding on yours.
I've seen firsthand these things really are.
Please tell me they're on our side.
Bumblebee is the absolute best Transformers movie ever.
We'll burn the planet to cinders.
They literally call themselves Decepticons. That doesn't set off any red flags?
It's the perfect blend of action, humor, and heart.
You got people out there who need you.
It's not just a great Transformers movie. Well, it's a great movie, period.
That was insane.
Bumblebee.
This? It's toilet paper.
Rated PG-13.
Start off with, I would say first thing I noticed was...
Is that it wasn't directed by Michael Bay?
Yeah. But...
That was a big one.
Yeah, and...
Which, let me set something with this. I'm not, like, a big Transformers fan or anything. I never watched any of the cartoons or anything like that. The most I did before, the first Transformers film in 2007 was, one of my brothers had a PS2 video game. It was a Transformers game. It had a two-person versus mode that I would play. That's it. That's all I have experience with Transformers up until the Michael Bay movie. So,
I mean, I would say when I was really young, I watched the, I guess, one of the original animated movies of Transformers. I'd say at least between the recent movies, such as, I would say, first Transformers and the newer one wasn't bad. The other two that I saw, Transformers 2 and 3, I'd say the animated was probably better. It had more of a story.
and here's the thing, for me, I thought the first one was just one of those fun movies, you know, you just turn off your brain and watch it, you know, and have a good time. I went to see the second one in the theater, Revenge of the Fallen, I think is what it was called. And, like, no joke, like, I think something clicked in my mind at that time, where it was like, oh, this sucks, and it was like about 10 or 15 minutes into the film, I think it was even less than that, I decided to have my dad and everybody else leave the theater. Or at least for me to leave the theater. Because I was like, I guess my mind was like, oh, this sucks, and just left. Then I did go see Transformers 3 Dark of the Moon, and I sat through it all, and yeah, it wasn't that good. And ever since then, I haven't watched another Transformers movie. I haven't seen Age of Extinction or The Last Night. And one of the things I noticed so far is that they just all seem like the same movie over and over again. Literally almost no difference.
Yeah, at least I'd say with Transformers 2 and 3, it kind of seems similar.
Yeah, like almost exactly the same movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Transformers 2, I mean, they just made all these, you know, really explicit jokes and stuff.
Yeah, and
I mean, it was kind of more of a playful. I think they were trying to be playful, maybe cheesy. I don't know. There was something missing there, though, in that.
yeah, and the one joke that I know was probably racially offensive was in Transformers 3 with one of the characters, Deep Wang or whatever. It's like he has the guns out. He's like, you know, remember that? Yeah, I think that was a bit offensive. You know. Yeah.
With the new movie, with Bumblebee, I guess not exactly new.
Now this is like, I guess, a prequel. I guess it seems like.
Okay.
That's what I got out of it. A prequel / spinoff.
So like before the first Transformers of the new movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, you could take it also as a spin-off, because you could really just, have it, not, you could watch it as a spin-off and not have it connected to any of the Michael Bay movies, or you could take it as a prequel to those movies. Either way.
I mean, I would have just said this movie seems more like it's
Spin-off.
spin-off or trying to be its own kind of
Yeah,
like its own thing. It's
that's
not
what
really
it felt like
related.
to me, really, which I can understand why, like,
Definitely.
yeah, that's probably something I would have done, if
Mhm.
I directed a Transformers movie, that was meant to come after the Michael Bay directed films.
I mean, I think at least with the Bumblebee movie, they did a decent job with having a female protagonist instead of the usual male. Like, she was at the forefront of this, as well as Bumblebee.
Yeah.
But
And I thought the characters were serviceable with this. Now, I did heard one actor that was in this was John Cena, and honestly, I was like, really? They got John Cena in this one? And then I was like, honestly, he wasn't bad, He wasn't awful, like,
I mean,
although there were times, like, because he plays, like, the main military leader and that, and I was like, there were times in certain shots I was like, I could honestly see him being the next Terminator after Arnold Schwarzenegger.
maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
like I
Well,
kind of
he
see
could.
that, like, maybe, and, I will say this, the action is much better than in the Michael Bay directed films.
Well, they're blowing up things every.
Yeah,
other.
because one of the things I noticed with the Michael Bay movies and everything that everybody else has said is that he somehow made explosions boring, and that's because he oversaturated his movies, every single one, with so many explosions. Like there was not a
Just
breath,
no
like,
story.
yeah,
Not
and
much story. Yeah.
yeah, and which.
I mean,
And here's the thing. Sometimes it's like sometimes the film doesn't need to be like, I don't know, like film I could think of. Like a film doesn't need to be like Alfred Hitchcock, like, or anything like as far as like story and that. Sometimes you would just like to go and see just fun action stuff and that, but the Michael Bay movies always never really did that for me, really. Except for, and like I said, I enjoyed the first one at least fine enough. It's one of those popcorn entertainment films you just turn off your brain and, just enjoy it,
thought it wasn't too bad.
So,
I mean,
but this one, I automatically was like, the action's much better, and there was more color to this movie than any of the Bayformers movies, as sometimes I like to call them. Like,
I thought the color was at least matched most of the themes they were trying to tell in the movie. Well, like Bumblebee.
and I did like some of the fact that, because this seemed like it took place in the 80s, it almost seemed like, because there was a lot of 80s references and all that,
Yeah, it kind of gave off that vibe.
I kind of like that a little bit, like, I didn't think they oversaturated with that, too, because sometimes that could be a problem, like, too many pop culture references, like, so I think that wasn't a problem here. Like I said, the cast, I think, was pretty good for the most part, serviceable.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, not bad, nothing horrible. I think definitely the best characters we got in a live-action Transformers film, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, if you include like you said, the Bay films, compared to those, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, honestly, I kind of had, like, little hope with this movie, because it's, well, I mean, I mean, I was interested in this movie, you know, because it's like this was the first Transformers live action film not to be directed by Michael Bay. So I was like, that's kind of a plus. But I was like, I still needed to see if that was, you know, like if, if you could do a Transformers film really well without, you know, like, to see if that could have been really the problem is just that Michael Bay was involved, you know, if, because they could have easily got somebody else and it could have still been a train wreck of a movie, you know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I noticed is they also there wasn't a lot of that typical where relationship wise the man was being the brave one and like and
I will admit, like, I was
got
like,
this hot chick or something.
and honestly, I was like, throughout this movie, because they were starting to bloom some sort of kind of cute teen romance between them, and I was like,
they didn't
really do that, which I like that, you know, because I was like, does every single big blockbuster movie need to have something like that?
Mm-hmm.
No. In fact, they could just easily cut any romance stuff in general, and it'll be fine, you know. In fact, I think that's kind of a cliche now in movies too.
I think that the teen romance thing I think's been around for a while.
Yeah. And I get why some filmmakers would try to add stuff like that, just romance stuff in those types of movies in general. I get why they would do that.
That's more drama.
I know that to probably appeal to, young girls, especially.
Try to get in on that trend.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
So I get it. I get why they do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be done well, I think. If you have a competent enough director, competent enough writers and a competent enough cast, it could be done well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, as we've discussed before, I mean, this movie was done, I'd say, pretty well.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the best live-action Transformers movie we got, and that's not saying a lot.
Yeah, but I mean,
and
I think it's also because they're emphasizing on kind of just one character, developing story around this one character instead of just having all of these different people.
Yeah.
You have to,
Although they're and also another thing that people say is a problem with the Bayformer movies, and that is he seems to over-sexualize his characters, especially with female characters, you know. And I'm like, I didn't never it was pushing it just a teeny bit, in some spots, but it wasn't like I would say it was still tons more there was a lot more respect with this movie than what Michael Bay probably would have done.
Yeah, I mean, they had that, I would say, would you say stereotypical, one female with the boyfriend, that one scene. But, like, the main protagonist, she was this cute female character, but, like, other than that, it wasn't
honestly,
over.
I did...
Yeah, like yours.
And I did actually like the actress in this. I never seen her in anything else, actually, but I thought she did a really good job with this so far. I heard she's actually better in other stuff, but
not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we did enjoy the movie.
It was.
I will say the second half kind of did start to lose me a bit.
Well,
just a little bit, I don't know. There was just something a little bit off about the second act to me.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something overall in the movie I was noticing that, if they just added something in there, it might have made it more exciting to follow, but, I mean, I understood.
I mean, the one thing I noticed, honestly, it's like, I think they put a lot of the best action stuff in that at the beginning of the movie. I think that might have been a problem with it, because it's like...
hooked into it?
Yeah, I mean, they could have easily had it to where it slowly build up the action, and they could have focused more on the characters way more by doing that. to make the characters even better than they were.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean,
and then get to the really big, like fun action stuff, especially nearing the final sequence and that. Like, so, but I would say it didn't ruin the action scenes as much as the Bayformers movies, because it's like, it wasn't as boring as those, so.
Yeah. That was probably, from what I could see, I think it was just, I think the Bayformers, like you were saying, it was just they just use. You said they used the same.
It's like and knowing that it's like so oversaturated with the same type of action.
It was kind of stale, I guess you could.
Yeah, and knowing that even just how it looked, like color correction and everything else, it just looked dull. Like,
I mean,
nothing fun really with it.
I'd say with the colors, they're probably trying to be realistic.
Yeah, but then again, this is a series with freaking like transforming like freaking alien robots that transform into vehicles.
Well, yeah. But you want it to be believable enough to some extent.
I mean, I guess, but at the same time too, it's like I feel like there needs to be a lot more fun with it, because it's like, people could suspend disbelief a bit, but that could also be a problem too. Like, too much craziness could take you out of the movie too, so.
I mean, one thing I did notice a similarity between the first Transformers
and this one.
And this one is there was always like the main protagonist ends up with Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I mean, and then he develops she developed a relationship.
And spoiler alerts here, he actually does transform into that Camaro we see in the first movie, so.
So that's what kind of led.
Yeah.
It could be like a sequel, kind of. But
yeah. Like I said, it could be like its own thing. Feels like it could be its own thing, and you could also take it as a prequel to the first Transformers Michael Bay movie. But for me, I honestly would prefer it if it was just its own thing. Didn't really have to connect to those movies whatsoever, and that's how I took it. Actually, sure, there might have been maybe at least one wink or nod to it, like Bumblebee transforming into the Camaro and that you see.
And I guess you could say, it's its own thing, but it's also part of a franchise of the modern. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's how the companies would categorize it as, but that's.
And for a film that I kind of had not much faith in, I think it did surprise me, honestly. Wouldn't you say? Because, I mean, how much faith did you have in this one?
I'd say I had
at least a little bit of hope.
I had about as much faith as the other Transformers movies.
It
was.
And did.
I mean, I knew there'd be. I was hoping for like robot fights. I guess.
And honestly, I guess it did surprise both of us. As far as. I still think there could have been some things that could have been better with it.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like there could have been something. Maybe spice it up a little.
But I will say, yet again, it is the best live-action Transformers film out there. At least from what we've gotten, and that's still not a fair comparison because the other ones, they're so what rating would you give it, Jay?
Well, I guess on a 5-star. I'm assuming that's what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was pretty good. But also there was something, I don't know, there is something about it. Maybe it was just maybe a little more character depth.
Yeah.
I felt.
For me, because of all that, I honestly personally would give it a 3.5 out of 5 star.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's not like any of the Michael Bay Transformers movies bad, it's not that bad. Which I'm kind of still shocked by, but it's not perfect. You know, it's not
Yeah, no.
like
well,
good.
it could be worked on,
Yeah.
but if they really worked on it.
And is this a film you wouldn't mind seeing a sequel towards, like, with the same director and that?
I'd actually be all for a sequel.
Yeah,
because I'd just be curious to see what
I'd be open to
they
it.
come
You
out
know,
with.
if especially if they could end up improving on, you know, with a sequel, then like improving the things that I have problems with this one, and you know, fix those problems in the sequel. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, I did enjoy this one. I did have fun with it for the most part. And yeah.
Entertaining. I would say this was a. There's a little blood and gore, but I'd say this would be entertaining enough for families
Yeah.
to watch.
I've seen kids watch way worse than this, honestly, when it comes to violent movies.
Nowadays, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, Joshua's son Alan actually, he's seen like the Chucky movies now.
Oh well.
And he's like 5 years old.
So watching something like this probably wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Just watch a bunch of mechs. Each other, but.
So I guess that's it, really.
Yeah, overall, I thought it wasn't bad.
Yeah, wasn't bad either.
Has that potential.
Yeah, I think there is potential for this if they play their cards right with it.
Yeah.
It could probably, make up for the sins of the past, really, with these movies. If
We'll have to see where it goes. They may or may not decide.
But bye. That's it for today, folks. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Joshua.
I'm Che, and
see you next time.